Another ATL route, gotta get this package out. Pressure on the metrics, scan and drop, no time to doubt. Hit the grid lock on the loop, man, this heat is getting heavy. Gated community maze, gotta keep the motive steady. Every porch a finish line, every shift the grind is real. Doing numbers for the quota, this the only way I feel. Yeah, I grind this Atlanta route.
What's going on? This is your boy Prime, and it's about damn time. Welcome back in to Prime On, Prime Off. 85, 285 to be exact. You know what I mean? So I'm out here doing these routes in Atlanta. I do apologize if you hear my dishwasher in the background, but that is what that is. But anyway, so recently I want to talk about basically speed, when it comes to being an Amazon delivery driver. I want to talk about speed, and I want to talk about just, the adequate amount of hours that you need to receive to get a good check, right? Like, we all out here trying to make money, right? We ain't doing this for out of the goodness of our heart, so we're doing it for money, right? So with Amazon, you always hear people say, I'm faster than you. I have never ever claimed to be the fastest, ever. And I'm not the fastest, but what I am though is I'm probably one of the most organized and consistent. I come to work on time. They know that they can trust that I can do any task that they can offer up. If they need me to go pick up a Rivian van, I can do that for them. You know what I'm saying? If they need me to rescue, I can do that. If they need me to come in on certain days that I'm off, I typically do that. So and so forth and so forth. I'm a reliable person. Okay. So when it comes to speed, everybody be saying I get back at 4. I'm done by 4. Okay. How much is your check though when you get done at 4? Remember, you have a 10-hour block. So that means they giving you 10 hours to do what's said route. 10 hours. You trying to get back in 5 or 6 hours and stuff like that. Like, why? Get your 8, at least get 8 hours. Man, you should at least get 8 hours. You should at least get 8 hours. I remember I was talking to a guy, and this is really a real story. I'm not gonna mention any names or anything like that, but real guy. I actually talked to this guy, he was complaining about not being able to pay his rent. And this is the same guy that gets off at 4 o'clock every day. And I'm like, bro, I asked him, do you be running to each stop? Oh yeah, I take off running. And I'm like, bruh, why? Why do you run? I say, number one, Amazon don't want you to run, okay? Because they don't want you to get hurt. They don't want to have to pay out, workers' comp and all that. And I'm not here to, boast up, Amazon. I'm here to just be real with the actual drivers that work at these DSPs. You don't want to be hurt. If you hurt, you're not making money, okay? And then, why would you want to be injured? Just being hurt alone is enough to just not want to be, right? They want you to follow the rules, 3-point contact and all that, No running. They want you to walk to the address. I have never seen UPS run, ever, okay? Never. So for us to be professional as delivery drivers, I think it's actually unprofessional to be running. Cause you're not an athlete, you're not Olympic gold medalist or trying to be or whatever. Like, why are you running? You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? Slow down, man. I'm not saying, even when I train people, because I'm a trainer as well, it'll be 3 years here in December, okay? Now, even when I train people, it always comes up. Either I end up telling them this, or they either end up asking, like, how long does it take you to do a route and all that? They always ask. I always tell them, like, listen, man, to be real with you, I could go fast if I wanted to, right? But it's a lot of different factors that you got to factor in. You really got to factor in a lot of factors. Number one, I'm 45 years old. I'm not a young spring chicken no more. So I'm not trying to kill myself. And here's the kicker: I'm type 1 diabetic. But I don't let none of that stuff stop me from doing this job. Okay? But what I am telling you is that with all of that I just said, you don't need to run to get this job done. I've been doing it for quite some time and I have never ran. Well, I take it back. When I first started, I used to run a little bit. I used to run to my first 20 stops, but I had seen that on a YouTube video. But then I realized that I had to come to work the next day. And you tiring yourself out for what? You already gonna be tired anyways. You're doing more work than you really think you are. I mean, he's a young guy, so he thought, he's invincible. But you could still get injured. And I'm pretty sure if you get hurt running, I'm pretty sure that Amazon may not want to, or your company may not want to pay. They may have to pay anyways, but they're going to try to fight that probably. So it's just best not to run. I always tell people you don't need to run. Besides, you getting back at 4, you literally cutting your check down. Now at my company, my DSP, we get what we call guaranteed hours. You get guaranteed 9 hours if you haven't been here for a year. Guaranteed 10 hours if you've been here for a year or more, right? Now, sounds good in theory, but it's not really guaranteed, because in order for you to get your guaranteed hours, number one, you got to hit 88% on your scorecard, okay, as an individual. And then the company, the whole company, all the drivers, all 34 or 35 drivers that we have that's driving that week, they all need to do the same thing pretty much. An average, of 88%. So what I'm saying is, if you don't do right and they don't do right, you don't get your guarantee. You see what I'm saying? So all this running, all of this, and then your check, it's very possible that you could work 4 days and only have 28 hours. That's not even full time in the state of Georgia. The state of Georgia is at least 30. You could literally get 28 hours on your check. I wanted to put that out to in the ether for any new people that's potentially thinking about doing Amazon. Every DSP is different. Remember, every DSP is different. Okay, I'm not saying that your DSP is going to have guaranteed hours in the first place. Most DSPs do not have that, right? But what I am saying, the one thing they all got is they got people that think they fast, they want to be fast, and they getting back at 4 or 5 legit, and they all complain about the money. The money is not as great as it could be, but you're not doing yourself any justice if you just getting back early and you're not getting your full potential of hours, right? I'm not saying stay out there until 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. Obviously, what time you need to get back at, because your DSP is always telling you, don't be late. Don't be coming back at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Okay, but you don't need to come back at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock to get your full hours. Remember, just do the math. You can if you get done at let's say if you get back to the station by 7:30 and you do all the stuff that you need to do, That's, depending on your dispatch and all that too, because I know everybody dispatch is different. But let's say you're the last ones to dispatch, like how we are, getting back and getting done with everything, clocking out, that whole thing right there. You're gonna have enough hours on your check per day. That's at least, I think it's at least 8.5 to 9 hours. Okay, so why not get the maximum amount of time on your check? We all gotta pay bills. So why are we rushing to do the job? It's, pace is a good thing. Running into things, you can run into, a dog. You could slip, you could fall, you could run into where we work at, you can run into a snake, a deer, or you can run into trouble is what I'm saying. You running in, a dog might be there, and a lot of people be having headphones on too, running it. I'm like, you ain't even hearing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what's happening around you. I also don't recommend having headphones, like over the ear headphones. If you're gonna have some headphones where your ears are still exposed, you can still hear what's going on around you, like those running type headphones, which I do have some of those. Okay, yeah, you just got to be smart while you're out there. I'm just trying to get some game out there, because if you're gonna do this job, it's easy for you to make a mistake, and eventually a mistake could lead to you being terminated. Now, this guy that I'm talking about, that I'm basically basing this whole video about, he just got terminated because he hit something, towed the van hide the van at the lot, at the station, try to hide it at another DSP, another DSP parking spot. They had to find the van, found the van that was damaged. They canned it. Okay, and I'm gonna end on this. I had talked to him about a week ago. I told him, I said, bro, slow down, man. I don't know why you rushing. When you rush like that, you could easily mess something up. You can easily make a mistake. And mistakes on this job will get you fired. Mistakes on this job could get people hurt. Okay? So, I'll add one more point, then I'm out. A guy that from not my DSP, but from my station, was rushing at night. It was the wintertime, so it was getting dark fast. It was already, I forget what time it was, but it was pretty, it was about 7 o'clock, something like that, 7:30, something like that. He ended up hitting a woman, and then he made the fatal mistake of not rendering aid to that person that he hit. He just went on about his business, continued to deliver packages, and police caught up with him, as you expected, and he's in jail right now. They put his ass in jail for 20 years. Okay, now I know the 20 years part and all that, that wouldn't have been the case if he would have just simply rendered aid. But what my point here is, he was rushing. That's why. He was rushing. Slow down, y'all. Slow down. All you gotta do is pace yourself. And with that, spend my time. It's your boy Prime Time. And I'm out.